We'll get started. So very good to have you all here this morning. What a happy day for Northern Essex Community College in our history. So glad that so many folks from our past and present will be here to celebrate with us. It is my considerable pleasure to welcome you back, for most of you, or for some of you, to the newly renovated John Spurk building. That's the applause. This is an interactive thing. Most of you know that this building is the heartbeat of our Haverhill campus. It is the hub where so many things happen. It's where most of our teaching and learning happens on the Haverhill campus. About 65% of our classes are taught in this building here. It's where our students congregate and socialize. It's a place that members of the community frequently visit for performances, for lectures. As you can imagine, it was a challenging task to take this kind of building offline for an entire year and scatter those classes and those performances and those activities to all kinds of other places. A bit like highway construction, when it's going on, it can be a tremendous headache, and when it's over, what a great ride. And that's what we have now that this building is reopened again. Years back, I was talking to Alex and the architects from Bell Schaefer out front earlier, and remembering that when I first started here about 11 years ago, I had a charming office space up on the 3rd floor. Right? Buildings that are half a century old have what we call charm. Yes? You may be familiar with this charm. This particular charm, one of the charms of my office, was that in the wintertime, snow would actually blow up underneath the ledges in the windows. So you'd be required to wear sort of gloves with the fingers cut out. It was a very Ebenezer Scrooge kind of a thing. Put some more coal in the fire. What a difference, not only in that little office space, which is now doing something else, but in every other part of this building. The building is close to half a century old. After this $18 million renovation that touched on nearly every building on this campus, that helped create some swing space for classrooms and offices and other purposes, at the same time that we were renovating this building, just about everything has been touched. So we've got enhanced safety features in the building, upgraded air quality, renovated restrooms. Don't undervalue those. At half a century old, believe me when I tell you, those are some of the things our students are going to be the happiest about. And major improvements to this lecture hall A, to the Chester Earlshue Theater upstairs on the 3rd floor, and no more snow in the desks. And that's an applause line too. What has been accomplished is just tremendous for our students, our faculty and staff, and all the community members. Before I share a little bit more about the history of the building, I'd like to introduce some of our special guests who are here with us today and just acknowledge some of the people in the room with us. You'll hear from some of them, including to my right here, Secretary of Education Jim Pizer. To his right, Secretary of Administration and Finance Michael Heffernan. To his right, Senator Kathleen O'Connor Ives. And to her right, Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs here at Northern Essex Community College, Bill Heineman. Also in the audience, and let me list some of these folks off, and then we'll do a big applause all at once. We have with us Carol Gladstone, Commissioner for the Department of Capital Asset Management and Maintenance. Dave Abdu is here with us, Chief of Staff for DCAM, and also a Lawrence City Councilor. Elaine Campos is not here with us today, but I mentioned her. She's Director of Programming for DCAM because she and a number of other folks at DCAM were just so very pivotal in communications and in planning and making this happen. Elaine emailed me early this morning. She's a 4:30 riser, I think. Emergency root canal, the only thing that would prevent her from being here for the reopening of this building. But I promised her we'd say stellar things about her because she's such a friend and asset to us. In addition, we have here with us State Senator, I mentioned Kathleen O'Connor Ives, State Senator Barbara Italian, Senate Minority Leader Bruce Tarr, State Representative Linda Dean Campbell, State Representative Tim Kelforce. We anticipate State Representative Frank Moran will be joining us shortly. Go ahead. A few members of our Board of Trustees, including our Chairman, Jeff Linehan, Vice Chair, Bill Cox, Student Trustee, Hannah Benning, and a couple of former trustees with us, Pete Belchinos and Joe Bevilacqua. Up in the back of the room. Also President of the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce, good to have him here with us. We have a few members of the Spurk family with us, and we're very grateful for their presence here today. We have John Spurk, for whom the building is named. His son is here, John Spurk. Jonathan, his grandson. And Stephen Spurk, John Spurk's brother, is here with us. Very good to have you. And a great privilege and something really special for me, we have with us in the front row, John Dimothy, the second president of this college, and his wife, Martha. Visiting us from the great state of Rhode Island, David Gingerella, the former Vice President of Administration and Finance of this college, and certainly pivotal in the creation of the planning that went on to make all of this happen before he migrated south again to be with his family, and where he now works at the Community College of Rhode Island. Good to have him back here with us. We have a large number of the cabinet for the college here with us, several vice presidents and deans, and hundreds of folks, not all in this room necessarily, but faculty and staff who were involved in the planning, the moving, the removing, and the third moving. A lot of that happened, so please, a round of applause for all the folks involved. To give you just a little bit of history, the college opened in 1961, 180 students down at the Greenleaf Elementary School. Many of you in the room have been there. A couple of you went to school there, including my wife. We didn't have a permanent home as a college until 10 years later, when this campus, including this building, was built here not too far from Lake Canosa. There was an article in the 1983 Haverhill Independent that described the property and what was going on with it. This land was formerly called Hunkins Hill. It had been used as a pasture, a hayfield, an orchard, a riding academy, and a golf course before becoming a campus. And that actually explains some of the nice rolling hills that we have around the campus. There was a lot of topsoil brought in to create the golf course, and they actually had a difficult time reaching bedrock for some of these buildings because so much topsoil had been mounded up for the golf course. The Spurk building was then called Building C, or the classroom building. It was part of the original construction of the campus back then. Since that time, we've had about 50,000 people graduating from Northern Essex, and most of them have taken at least a class in this building. Many of them, most of their classes in this building. In the late 1970s, one of those students was TV host Tom Bergeron, Dancing with the Stars and America's Funniest Home Videos. This is where he got his start, right here in this building. He took a mime course, taught right upstairs in what is now the Hirilchew Theater. He and his professor, Gene Bowles, and another former student, formed a mime trio called Vodomime. When I'm finished, the rest of the speakers are going to reenact some of what, no pressure, performed here in the building and throughout the community. We've also welcomed a lot of guests into the building over the years, elected officials like Barney Frank, published authors, and academics. The building was called the Classroom Building until 1995, when the college's all-college council recommended that it be renamed in memory of John Spurk. He was a professor of history and government at Northern Essex for 24 years until he retired in 1991 due to a terminal illness. John was a beloved teacher. He was the author of the college's 25-year history, which I'll tell you more about in just a minute. He was the chairperson of the college's reaccreditation committee multiple times. For those of you who work in colleges, you know what that means. It's a lot. The All-College Council recommendation read in part, John Spurk, a quiet and gentle man, a friend, a conciliator, an advisor, a mentor, strode like a gentle colossus across Northern Essex Community College. He's left a lasting imprint at Northern Essex in many very concrete and obvious ways, but also in many more subtle and less clearly discernible ways. John loved the college and the students, and I know he would have been pleased and proud to be here today to celebrate these renovations. Northern Essex Community College is one of 15 community colleges around the state of Massachusetts. We are one of 29 public colleges and universities. I'm here to say a few words about how this renovation fits in to the overall work that's happening around the state to care for and to maintain and to improve our public colleges and universities. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Secretary of Education, Jim Pizer.
Thank you, Lane. Good morning, everybody. Obviously, I want to start by congratulating you, your whole team, the board, the legislative delegation, everybody in this room and beyond, because these projects don't happen by themselves, they don't happen by accident. They take a lot of hard work over a long period of time, and so I want to congratulate you for that. I also want to thank DCAM and the whole team from the state who has been a partner with you in making this project a reality. Again, it's great work, and the little glimpse I had, I was in this building just shortly before the renovation began, just the little glimpse I've had of the work that's been done this morning suggests that this was a very successful project, so congratulations to everybody. And what we're seeing here today, what the work that's been done here is emblematic of a broader challenge that we face in public higher education, where most of our buildings were built in the 50s and 60s, and many of them, and the Spurk obviously is sort of right in the heart of that, and many of those buildings, unfortunately, over the course of the ensuing 50 years, did not enjoy the necessary investment in their upkeep and maintenance in order to extend their useful life. So we are now in the business, not just here, but really around the 29 campuses that Blaine made reference to, playing catch-up with a deferred maintenance backlog of somewhere north of $5 billion. And even for people in state government, that's a lot of money, isn't that right? So our priority has been, since over the last several years, is to focus on fixing or replacing existing buildings rather than expansion. And Spurk is a prime example of this fix-it-first strategy. But these kinds of projects are not just about repairs. They're about adding value. They're about creating more flexible and inviting space, and ultimately they're about student success. And as you walk around today and see the new spaces that have been created, I think that very much comes to mind. That this was about not just fixing things that are broken, but actually making the building better and more useful to further the mission of the college itself. So although we're here to celebrate the completion of a construction project, I also want to extol the virtues of Northern Essex and the great work that is done inside buildings like this. Northern Essex is a leader in connecting education to the workplace and meeting the needs of employers. It's an innovator in developing new ways of delivering cost-effective programs that increase student access and success, including some new online competency-based programs in computer applications and early education. NECC is a collaborator, partnering with four-year colleges to deliver bachelor's degrees right on campus, while opening its doors to high school students through its early college programs. And Northern Essex is entrepreneurial. I should probably say Lane Glenn is entrepreneurial, but both of those things are true. In building a thriving presence in Lawrence, not only providing opportunity to students, but also breathing new life into a community that needs it desperately. The bottom line is this project not only reflects the administration's new focus on addressing the looming challenge of deferred maintenance, but more importantly, it reflects our strategy in investing in what works. And Northern Essex works. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Secretary Pfizer, after those comments, you are welcome on this campus absolutely anytime. Please come back. Good to have you here. I overlooked a couple of introductions earlier. My apologies. I want to point out, I mentioned Alex and Jamila Schaefer earlier. Alex Atkins, Jessica Knapp, Tim Rhodes, and Diane Dooley are all here from Jamila Schaefer. Good to have you here with us. Architects on this project. Brendan Collins and G.B. Wattendorf are here from GBW, our general contractors. Good to have you here with us. You'll hear from Bill Heineman soon. He taught political science here for a very long time. And the best definition of politics that I've ever heard, it's nice and brief, is the allocation of scarce resources. Think about that. It really works. Our next speaker, that's his job. It's a big part of his job, along with a lot of the rest of us. And he's got a deep and extensive background in this. He's responsible for the $40 billion operating budget of the state of Massachusetts, the $2 billion capital budget, and leadership for a large number of extremely important departments, including the Department of Revenue, Human Resources, the Group Insurance Commission, DCAM, and a whole lot more. Michael Heffernan is the Secretary of the Executive Office of Administration and Finance, largely responsible for the funding for this project. We are grateful to have him here with us this morning to say a few words as well. Secretary Heffernan.
I do have to say that I love being in a lecture hall where I'm not either taking notes or being graded. So, thank you, President Glenn. The Baker Polito administration has developed themes that we use for a foundation of our building up our capital budget. And one of those is taking care, excuse me, I know I should be more close to the mic. When I was younger, I could project without a mic. I don't think I do it anymore. Taking care of what we have. We have prioritized our projects, especially in higher education, to maximize the value and utilization of existing assets. The Spurk renovation is a great example of how successful this theme can be. While the original Spurk building has good bones, it was a classic 1970s building and in need of some critical upgrades. Critical is one of our catchphrases that you find happens when you have deferred maintenance for a number of decades. This extensive project included improving accessibility for all the classrooms and offices. These two lecture halls are great examples. It's much more than just the paint and the carpet. What's gone on behind is as important. We have now air conditioned the entire building, replaced every existing window, and upgraded all of the fire protection systems. The Spurk building is truly at the heart of Northern Essex Community College's Haverhill campus. And I am so pleased to see these important upgrades that have made such a critical building so much more usable coming into the 21st century. The renovation of the Spurk building could not have been a success without ECAM Commissioner Carol Gladstone, her incredibly hardworking team, and our partners in the private sector. We thank you for all of your hard work and your efforts. I also want to thank the Governor and the administration for their continued support. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention former House Ways and Means Chair Brian Dempsey for his support. And also, I will be turning the podium over to Senator Kathleen O'Connor Ives, who has been a leading and tireless spokesperson for Northern Essex Community College on the Hill. We look forward to working with everyone to make Northern Essex Community College ready for the 21st century, both with the physical plant and with the academics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Heffernan. In the lobby outside, just before we got started this morning, I hope you don't mind that I share this. I don't think that you will. Secretary Heffernan shared with me that his family has some experience with community colleges. His mom is actually a graduate of Mass Bay Community College. I found that meaningful. I appreciate that you shared that. Secretary Heffernan mentioned the considerable support that Senator Kathleen O'Connor Ives has provided. She's a real friend of Northern Essex Community College in a lot of ways. She's been a member of the Joint Higher Ed Committee the entire time that she's been in the legislature. Tremendous supporter of our early college work, which is growing and expanding in lots of significant ways, and just a number of other things that helped out Northern Essex Community College. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Senator Kathleen O'Connor Ives.
Thank you very much, President Glenn. This is a great morning for the college, for our community, for the whole Merrimack Valley, because truly, if you've been to this building before, we all utilize it for so many different purposes. And like the Secretary said, deferred maintenance on Beacon Hill is something that every legislator is extremely mindful with those limited resources. But on the Higher Ed Committee, I'm particularly focused on the needs of community colleges because, as no surprise, we have a very important one right here in our own backyard. So with these impressive renovations, like President Blaine said, it's going to be a more comfortable building. It's going to be a safer building. It's going to be more accessible and ADA compliant. And there's going to be more technological innovation. All things that demonstrate to the students that go here, as well as the faculty, that the state of Massachusetts cares about the success of the students and is investing in our community colleges. Because it is exceptional that our community college system accepts and invites everyone to participate and learn at the community college system. Now, I'm very mindful that this place is special because we are inundated with a lot of negativity out there. a lot of overwhelming problems at the local level, the state level, the national level. If I had to pick one single issue that is perpetually on my mind and on all of my colleagues' minds, that would be the opioid crisis. And we ask ourselves, what is it that we can do if we feel helpless as individuals? I propose that part of the solution lies right here at Northern Essex Community College. Because this is a place of opportunity. This is a place where futures are born and community is built. Right here at this college, with the innovation and leadership of President Lane Glenn, who I'm perpetually trying to keep up with because he's literally and figuratively a fast runner. Here at the college, they have independently started a police academy, training the next generation of first responders, officers who are there to protect and serve and inevitably and unfortunately respond to emergencies that happen in our own community. It's here that the next generation of our medical leadership is born, serving in our local community hospitals and responding as EMTs and medical assistants and nurses. So I posit that if we make strategic investments across the Commonwealth and replicate the success of this Spurk building renovation, it will in fact pay dividends in the back end. And I think it's a really big deal that we have 2 members of the cabinet, 2 secretaries here attending and paying keen attention to the success at Northern Essex Community College. I think they get it, and we also have a robust attendance from our own Merrimack Valley legislative delegation. And needless to say, we have to maintain that vigilance because Representative Brian Dempsey was focused on it as Haverhill's representative. We are going to continue to be focused on it, but the needs continue. We know that the physical space matters, but we also have to invest in our students themselves in terms of instruction and curriculum and innovation, because it's here at this school and the Lawrence campus where the real workforce development happens. There's a lot of talk about it, but if we stay focused and follow that path, here at this school every day, students are being inspired to grow their professions and be connected to their future careers. So with that, it's a hearty congratulations that I offer to everyone who made this vision a reality. This is a space that's going to be used for lectures and classes and faculty offices. And it will be a space, like I said before, where dreams become reality. It's more than just a building. And like Secretary Kaiser said, it's never one person who does anything alone. It's a team effort, but you need the vision and the leadership and the focus to pull something like this off. And we have an individual to my right who's constantly coordinating and pulling things together and moving on to the next victory. So I think I don't ever want to take the leadership and talent of President Lane Glenn for granted, and for that, I think he deserves a round of applause this morning. With that, I will create a new definition of political science, which is a little longer than that brief statement. I do agree that it's about very limited resources, but I also submit it's also about keeping your priorities straight. And our investment in our community college system needs to stay at the top of that list in a very competitive situation with limited revenue in a state that has high standards. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak with you this morning, and I look forward to the ribbon cutting.
Thank you, Senator O'Connor-Ives, and I readily accept your friendly amendment to the definition. I appreciate that. So I mentioned earlier the office on the 3rd floor and the snow in the window and all that kind of stuff. That's when I was the Vice President for Academic Affairs, and looking back, that was a lot easier of a job than the current occupant of that job has. Who had to actually manage a lot of this while it was going on. Dr. Bill Heineman is the Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs. He provides a calm and considerably careful and methodical planning presence for projects like this and a whole lot of other things at Northern Essex. And it's my great pleasure to introduce you here this morning.
Thank you, Lane. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the faculty and the staff, and especially the students, let me add my welcome to the new and improved Spurk building. If you're new to the college and you wonder what it is we do in this building, there is a simple but profound answer. We change students' lives here. Students come to Northern Essex to redeem the promise of college, to improve their lives and the lives of their families and their community. They do that in this building, working with our superb faculty in 33 newly renovated classrooms, where they can study accounting, anthropology, art, business, communications, deaf studies, economics, education, foreign language, government, history, literature, mathematics, philosophy, psychology, sociology, reading and writing, and a number of other topics as well. With this new renovation, the Spurk building also hosts a new Business and Accounting Academic Center, a new student support hub that offers academic coaching, tutoring, and other student support services, and a new career and experiential learning center. In those spaces, our dedicated support staff and faculty assist students as they pursue their life goals and their academic goals. In addition, the renovation has provided a new lounge for our Commonwealth Honors students, a vastly improved theater space, new quarters for our award-winning student newspaper, the NECC Observer, and very soon expanded dining options and seating. These improvements are so important. Our students' education is truly a noble piece of work. It meets urgent community needs for active citizens, productive contributors to our economy, and fully formed human beings. Every year at commencement and convocation and award ceremonies, we recognize the value of that work symbolically, but our students and our educators need to see the tangible support of the community as well. And that's why this wonderfully newly renovated building is such wonderful evidence of that support. So on behalf of the faculty and the students and the staff, let me thank our legislative and policy leaders for providing the resources for this project, DCAM, the architects, and the contractors for conceiving and actually delivering the work, our institutional leaders for tirelessly advocating for the funding for this project, our indomitable information technology and facilities staff for equipping it, and especially everyone in academic and student affairs who for the last 16 months somehow ran this campus without this mammoth building being available to us. No easy task. I want to recognize one human being, Sharon McDermott, who's our Director of Academic Operations. She's sitting way up there in the back. Certainly on the academic side, the only reason this project happened was because Sharon kept it all together. And I also want to recognize our former CFO and our new CFO in the back, Mike McCarthy, as well, for all of their hard work. Thank you again for being here with us to celebrate the renewal of this building and also for honoring the work that happens here. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony and have a great day.
Never doubt that Dr. Heineman knows his job and loves his job. I don't know if you noticed or not, but he recited the various programs that are offered in this building from memory. He wasn't looking at notes, he was looking at you, because he was doing that alphabetically. That was pretty impressive. That was good. So, by way of closing, in 1986, the gentleman seated down here in the front row in the green jacket, President John Dimitri, asked John Spurk to write a history of Northern Essex Community College. John completed that history in the late 1980s, and since then it's been a part of the college's archives, a pretty valuable chronicle of the college's early years. I'm happy to announce that thanks to the considerable efforts of Mike Hearn, our Director of Libraries, and Mary Wilson, Dean Emeritus, and Wendy Schaefer, Dean of Development, John's history, along with an update that actually carries us through the present day, is now being published. It's going to be available for the first time tomorrow. This is a publisher's preview, not quite ready for distribution, but tomorrow the copies will be on hand and available. Mike spearheaded the effort to publish the history. Mary wrote the updates. Wendy contributed to those updates into the editing process. Thank you, President Dimitri. Thank you, Mike and Mary and Wendy, for this incredibly valuable contribution, especially now as we're rededicating this building here today. We've done a lot of talking about the renovations and what it means to the students and the faculty and the staff here. I don't think you can fully appreciate all of this unless you actually see it and feel it. So I hope that you have some time available as we're closing our ceremonies, just following our ribbon cutting, which will happen in just a moment outside of this room. There are 3 staff members who have been deeply involved in all of this. Dr. Heimer mentioned one of them, Sharon McDermott. 2 others, Dave McCaskill and Danny Rivera, will all be outside in the lobby with signs. They will take you on tours of the building and show you some of the features of this magnificent new space, such as our Career Center, our Business and Accounting Academic Center, and the Chester Heroic True Theater, in case you'd like to take a mind class. Just saying. Sharon and David and Danny will be out there in the lobby, so find one of them if you'd like to and take a tour. As I'm finishing here, we're going to go right outside the building, the front door, where there's a long blue ribbon for an actual ribbon cutting. And then members of our legislative delegation will be up on the 3rd floor in room 311. Thank you for staying for a while after. Thank you all very much for being a part of this day. Hope to see you outside for the ribbon cutting.
All right, you squeeze it. I don't want to screw it up. President, you ready? Okay. All right, folks, here we go. 1, 2, 3, snip. Let's go. Safety scissors. I mean, look, really. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
That was impressive.